What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with RK Outpost, and I saw something pretty incredible as I was looking around for Star Wars news today, and I don't know why or how this happened right now, but it's true and it's pretty incredible. You can see from this headline, Star Wars, George Lucas canceled Underworld TV show revealed in test footage. And there's a YouTube channel that somehow got a hold of this test footage for Underworld, and it's pretty awesome to see it play out. It's obviously very rough. It is just that test footage, but there's some behind the scenes too. We'll take a look at a little bit of it after we go through this article. And the Underworld TV show, if you don't know what it was, back in, before I think Revenge of the Sith was even finished, before it was even out, there were rumors about a Star Wars TV show set between episode 3 and 4. And George Lucas had plans for this. He basically just didn't have the technology he wanted to have for it yet. Because for him to do it, it would have costed an incredible amount of money. The budget would have been out of this world for what he wanted to do. And he wanted to make a movie, or he wanted to make a TV series that was set, in the rise of the Empire, after the Empire comes to power, about all the normal citizens and kind of how they reacted to it, how they were dealing with stormtroopers patrolling the streets, people starting rebellions, things like that. And it would have featured some cameos from some characters, from the original trilogy, probably from the prequels, and even from the expanded universe, because we know that George did love so much of the expanded universe and the characters that were created from there. And he brought a lot of those to life in the prequels, and he would have done the same in this Underworld TV series. So let's take a look here and see what this is all about. Test footage from George Lucas' canceled live-action Star Wars TV show Underworld makes its way online. When the franchise finally made the leap to live-action television this past fall with The Mandalorian, longtime fans know Lucas was making to make that jump as far back as 2005. Underworld, which was set to be between the prequel and original trilogies as Empire rose to power, just like we said, spent a number of years in development. 50 scripts were written, and the initial plan called for 142-minute episodes. Imagine getting an actual full-length episode. Interesting. Unfortunately, due to cost concerns, the episodes were never produced. Underworld was still on the table when Disney bought Lucasfilm, but obviously the series never saw the light of day. Even with The Mandalorian receiving praise from fans and setting the stage for the franchise's exciting future on Disney+, there are additional shows coming through the pipeline, maybe. Some viewers can't help but wonder what Underworld could have been if it was made. Now they can get a taste with a test footage reel. Appearing on the YouTube channel HoloNet is a video consistent of a short Underworld scene, and we'll take a look at parts of this. I don't want to play the whole thing, because obviously whoever this was did the legwork and got a hold of this. Set in the seedy underbelly of Coruscant, the sequence depicts a rebel spy using a device to steal Imperial plans that seem to be related to a Death Star. Stormtroopers and surveillance droids patrol the streets, illustrating the might and power of the Empire at this stage in the Star Wars timeline. Lucas's penchant for pushing the technological envelope is fully on display here, combining practical and digital effects. Actors are actually wearing Stormtrooper costumes as opposed to the full digital clone troopers of the prequels, but they are filming on a green screen. Coincidentally, there were Underworld episodes focusing on events like the Rebels stealing the Death Star plans and Han Solo winning the Millennium Falcon, which of course were later depicted in Star Wars spin-off films. And those, of course, were heavily inspired by the expanded universe stories. And you can do a lot of digging to find that out. There were things that were going to include Han Solo's backstory. There were rumors of Boba Fett episodes. There were rumors of a little bit of Leia's backstory, because George specifically put some projects on hold, like a Boba Fett standalone novel and a series consisting of Leia's maturity and her young adulthood before Episode 4, that he put on hold because he wanted to explore it in this Underworld TV series. So we know that a lot of those things were going to come to light. In particular, it might make sense to mine Underworld scripts for the Cassian Andor Disney Plus show. No one cares about that. But I want to take a look at this footage. So here we go. Let's do this. It's so cool. It is very rough. It's clearly a very rough cut, but I think it's pretty interesting. So let's take a little bit of a look through here. We'll skip through a little bit. God, I wish we would have got something in Coruscant like this. Gosh. That is the one thing in that Colin Trevorrow script that I really would have liked to see, is the Coruscant Underworld. But I like that part for reasons. You can see there's a droid on the street, scanning people, helping out the stormtroopers.
You two move along. This area is threat level orange. Move along.
Thank you. We could not have done this without you.
A lot of different species and things like that. This is the Rebel spy they're talking about. And there you go. You can see that she's looking at, it looks like plans for an Imperial Star Destroyer right there. An arms dealer.
The plans have been acquired. We will need weapons and your best soldiers.
This console has been compromised. Lock down the area and search the vehicle. Alert Team 2 of our situation.
I think I'm being followed.
Initiate search. Proceed with caution. Lock down. Lock down. Lock down. Lock down.
A little bit of a firefight going on with the arms dealer. Grenade! Oh, and the Wilhelm scream. You get the Wilhelm scream. Who doesn't want that? And then, so that's a little bit of it. I will put a link to this in the description below so you guys can watch the whole thing.
A little faster.
Banking in. Hovering, turning.
A little faster now. Drop in. Stay. And car!
Fans all
More
the way.
fans!
But you can see here, this is the actual making of. They have so much of the making of this behind the scenes thing. I think is really cool to see how they're doing it with the green screen.
More fans!
Fans.
My face is kind of in the way right now. Let me move that for you.
You're there.
Move along. This console has been compromised. Nobody moves. Who is the owner of the speeder outside?
But there you have it. That is pretty much the extent of it. Let me move myself back to here. I thought that was really cool, honestly. And, you know, it's funny, things that they're doing with The Mandalorian now on that special stage that they have, you know, it's very... I think that's actually very similar to the kind of thing that George had in mind to do for the Underworld series, which is how they're able to get production down to about $15 million, $10 to $15 million per episode on The Mandalorian, is that special stage that they have. So maybe that was, you know, part of George's, you know, future and what he would have wanted to do eventually. Of course, being in the future, in the technological future, that was he was 14 years ahead of his time, 15 years, what he wanted to do. And it's unfortunate we never saw this played out. It's unfortunate that Disney never just went and took George's scripts and, you know, made those into this Underworld TV series. I think a lot of us would have loved to see that, what George's intention was, what George's scripts said. Like so many things, we want to see George Lucas's story played out. But I want to know what you guys think about this test footage. Would you have wanted to see Underworld? Would you have wanted to see that instead of maybe some of the other things we've gotten from Disney Star Wars? Let me know in the comments below. I will link that whole video in the description of mine, just so that you guys can go and take a look for the whole thing uninterrupted, and you don't have to worry about getting copyrights for music or sharing somebody else's content to the full extent. Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.